Sky howdy, and welcome back to another episode of World Bigfoot Radio. Upper 90s, Sushi's hanging out, getting some tan, checking out everything here on the porch. This is how you could tell that it's way too hot. The squirrels are all like, screw this, man, I'm just taking a break. I don't like this, it's too damn hot. Yep, you're a superstar, you're on camera. And that's about what I feel like doing outside today too. It's like, no, too hot, no, too hot. I'm just gonna sit in the crotch of a tree, not move. Yeah, Sushi's watching him, and he is like half asleep. He just let his eyes shut a little bit ago. It's too hot. Alright. Oh, there you go. Let's see.
Learn your sailing, you're so down, learn your sailing, you're so down. He's the top of the West. Oh.
Deadly shitty road. 25 miles. Not as dusty full of water as it was the last time I was here. Month ago. But still going down. There's Johnny, he's taking pictures. The true count of Victor, Montana. see where the heel is here. And it looks like the toes went over the edge into the little creek. So Johnny's operating the tape measure right now. What do we got there? It looks like about 15, 16 inches.
Yep. I thought it was right here.
Could be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks like the back of the impression.
Yep, 19.
Big. Biggie big. There used to be a bridge going across this little thing. They tore it down. So we're guessing that there's either more trail or an old homestead or something back in there. So we're going to wade across and find out. Creek's right down there in that valley. As soon as we get across, here's what we see. Those pieces have been cut, so humans made that. But we shall continue on exploring. We're at base camp. Johnny found this one. Need your tape measure.
14.
What do you got on it?
14.
14. So I don't know if you can make out toes in there, but it's not that much bigger than a human track, but it sure as hell is a lot deeper in the ground than a human track would be. Let me do it now that it doesn't matter and if we ruin it. Let me do the experiment. I'll put my big fat foot down next to it. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Wait, 240. See my track? No. I found a bigger one over here. And the only reason I think this is a track is because I've been down here 1,000,000 times. And I know exactly what this little trail looks like. And there are human tracks down here too. Several of them. Then I get over here. Jump across. Now the ground down here is pretty squashed. Something stepped on it. But what we're really looking at is that. Make sure you're inside the indentation so we're not adding any width on it.
11.
But it's still 11 inches, so the back end of it, obviously, down the embankment, you just got 1 foot up there. But that's a 22-inch track. I think you can... Where is my finger? There it is. Yeah, toes. There's my foot next to it. Big mushroom. That's a big mushroom. Across from camp on the same old logging road, I saw a tan Bigfoot go running down this thing at about 40 miles an hour last year. So we're just over here looking for tracks. Heard some weird noises earlier. Johnny thought it was a chainsaw or something. And I'm like, dude, there's no roads or vehicles or anything within miles of here. So no, that's not what you're hearing. So we're just checking it out here and we'll come back if we find anything. The weird rock you don't see every day. And it doesn't look anything like the other boulders around here. Pretty neat looking. Yeah. Looking for more tracks. Honey found what may be a big track here. Should be able to see. Squashed the ground pretty good. Could be, if so, 18-19 inch track. Let's see if we can find some more down here. There should be some around. Coming out of Skelko Pass, since it's so terrible, we decided to go out the Phillipsburg side, not have to go all the way back over it again. Country byway. Going to investigate more Bigfoot activity near the ghost towns. Guys, way down in the valley, checks it out. I've just been checking out the other side of the road up here. I found some interesting marks. Let's go take a look at them. Okay, we got another well-worn path going across the road here. And yeah, that could be a partial track right there. But we got some more interesting marks a little further up we're going to go look at here. There's another indentation that could be a really old one. There's another.
They look like you're going down though.
Uh-huh. They look like they go in both directions. Yeah. That looks like toes going down right there.
Right there.
So you want to throw tape across the front of that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the big one.
Okay. Right. Was it right here?
Oh, you can see the indentations. You're right down there. And where's the big toe at? You're kind of like not really across it.
Big toe right. Jeez.
And it looks to me like this whole area is squished down.
Right. Right there. Or this one.
Yeah, what is that? Is that a cow print?
No, this is no cow print.
That ain't no cow print.
Look like, I don't know, 9?
And point out with your finger the outline there. We're at noon here, so it's hard to see.
Outline. Right there.
So what is that? Is it the front of a foot?
Yep.
Well, here again is another big mark right here. And that looks like one going downhill. Yep. Looks like toes are, excuse me, let me back out here so you can see what I'm pointing at. Toe marks there. And then it looks like the back of the foot comes up here. So, get a tape measure on the length of the possible. So we're looking at about 16 inches.
17.
What's the width here? from like here to there.
There. 8
inches.
8 inches.
So that's proportional. 8 inches across the front, it should be 16 long. So that's probably a Bigfoot track.
Come right here. And
Hard to tell, there's a rock back there.
yeah, the rock.
Oh, we get a width across the front of the foot, but for anything we know how long it was.
Let's say about 8. So the big toe right there, 16. I'd say right about here.
Okay, that's kind of what it looks like too.
Yep. See the dent right there?
Yeah.
Come down. Go around here.
And we got another one right here. There's the front of it. There's the side of it. And there's the back of it. You can see this one really obvious.
Yep. About 14.
Looks about right. What do we got across the front here?
7.
And that's what we'd expect.
Yep.
So now that everything that was muddy
Turned to dust.
yeah. Well, first it turned to concrete, then it turned to dust. So again, dust will pick up tracks. So hopefully we'll have some more success here further down the hill. I got some other places to go check out. This is pretty much the same spot I had Kelly and Jenny a few weeks ago. We found a couple of them coming right up the hill, little ones. So, yeah, here's where the trail splits off a bit. We'll each go up a different direction and see what we can find. Yeah, I just turned the camera off and Johnny goes, oh, here's another one. Get move around the other side there so you're out of the sun. People can see it better. This one we should really be able to make out because you got the little divots in the ground right there where the toes dug in. And then there's the outline.
About 16, 14.
Is it that long? How wide is it across the front? I think it's a little shorter than that.
14, I think. I don't know. It's probably about 5.
5 or 6. It's about a foot long.
Yeah, about youngie.
There's little ones running around up here too. So yeah, we're just gonna keep trotting along. Coming downhill, found this really quite obvious crater. And he was going downhill just like I am. She, whomsoever, so you can see the front there. Length about 17, somewhere between 15 and 18 inches. Hard to tell where the heel came down. What's width? Let's get a width so we know what the length was. Hey. Yeah.
About 8.
So 16 should be back right in there.
16 right there.
And again, you can see the impression there.
Yep.
And that's a pretty deep pit. What's the depth on the front end of that?
Yep. Shoot.
You got to get right over it, basically.
About 2 inches.
Looking like you had more than 2.
2.5.
There's the mound right there. 2.5, 3 inches,
3.
basically.
Yep. 2.5 or 3.
So let's go find some more tracks.
Yeah, that's one.
It's not a lot bigger than my foot is,
Yeah.
but it sure is a lot deeper in the ground.
You can tell right there.
Yeah. There's a heel there.
Yep, and it just sunk in the...
They squished the ground right down. It's typical for them. They're heavy as bleeding.
A foot.
Foot's about a foot long.
Yeah.
How wide is it in the front?
Front. 6. Yep, 6. Or 5.
Looks like about 6.
6, yep.
So, well, there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the right branch of the where the trails split when I was up here with Kelly and Jenny, and we heard a whoop from this way, then we heard a whoop from the other direction. So I figured we'd walk up here and see if we can find anything. And there was a little track right there, so we're gonna keep going for a ways. Got Sushi the Adventure Dragon with me today for my hike. He's tired, so we're letting him take a break for a second here. We're up an old, long abandoned road. How long abandoned? Long enough abandoned for that tree to grow in the middle of it. It's been abandoned for a while. Sushi for scale in a big track. There's another one. Another one. There's another one. I think these are the same ones that Kelly and Jenny found. We're back at the same spot again. Whoops. I'm gonna gather up butt head here. Come here. There's a crater right there. You can see that ground disturbance there. That's the one Kelly was filming. I'll go down there. We're going to walk down the trail a little bit just in case that last spot wasn't the right one. Here's another piece of the embankment. Very good. Huge impressions all over it. Going back and forth up this way. And then coming down, huge impressions down there. And this is just a little ways down the trail from where we were at last time. There's a ridiculous steep embankment down. You can see a long ways today. Yeah, steep, super steep.
I don't know where it goes, but there's the...
You need to hold it upright so we can actually see the numbers, otherwise it's worthless.
I don't know how far it goes back.
Well, you know how to do that? You measure across the front and double that.
Okay.
You got a toe over here, so you ain't even near the edge of the track.
Okay, toe right there. About 9.5.
So again, that's like a theoretical 18-inch track. Why do we think this is a track? Well, because that right there.
Yeah.
And then this right here, which looks a heck of a lot like somebody put their hand down. Okay. Like they slipped a little bit here. But this is old stuff. Going up toward the ridge line.
Another part of the foot in a trackway going up the hill. And this is an area that Duke's research group finds tracks often. Just got vocalizations off that way. There it goes again. A bunch of hooping. I'm kind of surprised you didn't hear them. They were loud and they echoed. On all the other mountain ridges and peaks from here. Duke's heading in the direction. We heard the vocalizations. And the crazy thing is it's kind of the same direction Jenny was getting a vibe. I don't know what language he's talking in, but he's trying to communicate with whatever made the vocalizations this direction.
And always remember, don't flip off the mountain giant, don't poke Dogman with a stick, don't punt the puckwidgies, and for God's sakes, whatever you do, do not hug the Wookiees. Yeah, whenever you hear on my channel when I tell you guys that we're out in the middle of nowhere, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Can we get a phone signal?
From here I can probably see 25 to 50 miles and I don't see nobody.
That valley down below us is 9 miles away. Yeah, there's some dude in there because you can't see those far mountain ranges very clear. And sometimes you can. You can see 3 mountain ranges there.
It's Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. During our recent Bigfoot expedition to Sasquatch sighting locations in northwest Montana, we reached out to a local researcher named Duke from World Bigfoot TV. He kindly took us into an active spot in the Garnet Mountains, northeast of Missoula. We immediately began to identify Bigfoot trackways and documented dozens of Sasquatch tracks in 2 trackways going up and down the mountain to and from water source, a creek. The largest tracks we documented were around 19 inches in length and around 8 inches wide at the toes. Those were the 2 main trackways, 19-inch tracks, showing that an individual was going to the top of the mountain and down into the nearest creek. We heard Bigfoot-style vocalization several times during our investigation hike, and sometimes they would go back and forth from 2 different directions, indicating whatever it was, there was more than one, and they were communicating to each other. During one vocalization event, Jenny and Kelly directed a camera in the direction of some pretty close whoops and screams. During editing, we saw briefly what looked like a dark humanoid figure lean out from behind a tree, exposing itself for a second or two as it was checking us out after vocalizing. It appeared to be the left side of the creature from its dome head, including its torso and left leg. Because it was at a distance and so brief, we did not make a big deal out of it. After several viewers contacted us about the event that watched our investigation video, we decided to take a closer look. We then noticed a second one behind a log leaning against a host tree. It appears to take a look at us also after the vocalization, then hides behind the host tree. Not saying these are Bigfoot tree peeking at us and vocalizing, however, we would like to show what we and other viewers have identified in the video. I would also like to zoom in and slow the footage down so everyone can take a better look. If it wasn't for the amazing Bigfoot trackways we found that day, and then the vocalizations, it prompted us to point the camera in the direction, we would have just shrugged off this 220 frame section that lasted under 4 seconds. But because of everything found and heard at that point in time, here it is. After we play this footage, we will show off some of the better 19-inch tracks we found in 2 separate trackways. One trackway went down the mountain toward the creek, the other went up toward the mountain peak.
Just got vocalizations off that way. There it goes again. A bunch of hooping.
Up in the same location where I was with Kelly Shaw and Jenny Higley when they caught a couple Bigfoot on video. So we're gonna walk on over and get comparison video. Stumps. I think it was that stump back there. Just heard a double wood knock coming from over in this direction. Other than a little light breeze, it is extremely still. I'm just below the area on the mountain where Kelly filmed a couple of them. And Johnny up there. Okay. It's pretty smoky. McPeaker up there. I'm gonna walk right toward him. Fork and A, here's where the trail splits. So we already went up that one last time we were here. We're gonna go up this one this time. When Kelly and Jenny were here, they found tracks going up a real steep embankment up to a ridge line, which we are currently standing on top of that ridge line. There's the valley down there. So we're walking down it looking for more tracks, and then we're going to cut down that way, approximately where the individual that left the huge craters went down, if we can find that spot from above, and then proceed down into that little canyon, see if there is in fact water down there. And we found a couple, 2-3 more marks that look like tracks, but the ground's so dry, there's no toe prints or anything, so pretty hard to say for sure. But we're going to keep walking and looking here. If you look close, you can see the impressions in the ground there where the toes dug in. Here's the outlines. Go back here. Inches across the front, old 16-inch track. I am currently on the phone with Robin McCrae because we actually have signal up here. Just found another track. What I'm said is foot down, knock this log out of the way. You can see where the log was laying in the ground. Robin's asking me what's on the left-hand side going down the hill. A whole lot of downhill for about a mile. Okay, well apparently there's a foot over on our left-hand side watching us. Walk over and say hi to him before we keep going down.
Okay.
But anyway, so there you go. 15 inches, what, 7 inches wide?
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, well, that's Johnny's car over there. We're way across the canyon from it. And this is the one where the Bigfoot went down this nice steep embankment down the bottom of that ravine and back up again. And obviously we are not going down that way. Going back around again. 2 minutes later. You can probably see where the toes are on this one.
That one. So let's see right about.
This isn't a very big track. We go across the front, we get
5.
4 or 5 inches, so it should be 8 or 10 inches long.
Let's go 10. About 9.
And that looks to be right about where the heel of the track is. So we got a little squatch lit running around here. We've just been finding a lot of tracks, all different sizes. There's a family group living around here clearly. And we found just this summer tracks from one individual that leaves 19-inch tracks, one that's leaving one that's like 17, 18 inches, another one that's leaving them really wide, 21-inch tracks. And yeah, the width was half the length, 11 inches across the front, so big boy. So there's several big boys up here, and then of course the little squatchlets that are running around with them too. So we literally can't go down the direction they went to go down that ravine. It's too damn steep and we'll kill ourselves. So we're going to end up walking around and then going back down the roadbed again. But from there we are going to try and clamber down into the ravine. So you can see that open spot over there. That's it, switchback where you walk up and there's a split in the trail. Just that direction. Over to that side. That's where we're going back to. We're down below the area where you came down the embankment off the roadbed. You can see like one of the craters right over there. Probably.
1, 2, 3.
Several of them. On the edge of the hill. And right down there you can see another trail going up the hill. So we're not seeing any signs of water down here. It may be that this is just a shortcut. And they come down this ravine so they can go up that game trail right there. And back up the hill again. So anyway, there you go. There's a ridge where our old gifting spot is that we don't leave stuff at anymore. See the tracks? Some frickin' clown drove their Jeep up there. And so we walked up there and we picked up all the trash that the biggies left the last time we were up here and got that. And other things. wanted to film some wildlife video today, but I'm at home. This is a porch. There's sushi. Hey, there's some wildlife. How you doing, bud? Got a little friend hanging out over there. He's a big boy. He's hanging out in the shade. Doesn't really need to. It's like 82 today. What, are you taking a break or something? Alright. Are you gonna get up? Gonna get up and say hi? You gonna come over and force me to give you an apple? Probably. Yeah, look at him licking. Yeah, I want an apple. Okay, I'm gonna go get him an apple.
Make sure that you're kind to everyone. Safety first, last, and always. Pay it forward. Don't be mean to people if you don't have to be. Don't flip off the mountain giant. Don't poke Dogman with a stick. Don't punt the puck, would you? And for God's sake, whatever you do, do not hug the Wookiee.